Hey guys, sorry it's been so long. There's been a lot going on. My cousin, who I grew up with, um, she got two brothers, and so me and her were like sisters. But anyway, a couple of weeks ago, she got sick and ended up in the hospital, and she had congestive heart failure. She's 49. Anyway, so we got through that 4 or 5 days of that because she was really, really bad. And she got out, and somehow her scheduling appointments got all mixed up with the heart doctor she was supposed to go see as soon as she got out, and she never did get to go see one. I gave her the number because it's the same heart center I go to, and her brother gave her the number, but she never did call them. Anyway, so Saturday night, her and her husband were coming back from a party, and she told him to pull over because she couldn't breathe. And he did, and she had a heart attack. Well, by the time they got to the hospital and they did bring her back, they used the defibrillator. They didn't know how long she'd been without oxygen. So today is Thursday, that was Saturday night. So we waited until they did an EEG Sunday. Um, and they told us Monday about 6 o'clock that she only had brain response at the base, at the spine of her brain, that everything else was dead. And so she could keep on living a long time, but she would just be like she was, which they had her on the breathing machine and everything, and hooked up to IV and feeding her through a tube. And so they waited for her daughter to fly in. She was out of state, and she got here Tuesday night. But anyway, they did two EEGs. They did one Sunday and they did another one Tuesday. And they both showed that all her motor skills and everything like that had been damaged. So Sunday night I stayed at the hospital till I got home at 11. Monday I worked, and I went from work up there and stayed until I guess 10. And then the same thing Tuesday, and the same thing yesterday. So I took off work today because they decided yesterday morning, Wednesday, her husband and her brother and her daughter said that they would just take her off life support because they said there wasn't no chance of her ever doing anything. So now we're just sitting here still waiting. I took off work today, and I went and took care of a few arrangements for them. Um, Her brother texted a few hours ago and said that there hadn't been no change. She is off the life support, but she's just laying there and that's it. I mean, she's breathing very hard, of course. So it's a hard time right now because it was so unexpected, and you know, and I've watched people before, but this is really hard for me to know that she's in there. She just isn't in there. She looks like she's asleep. And I just keep telling her to wake up. I just want her to wake up so bad. But, so now it's been 24 hours. She hasn't been hooked up to anything. No IV, no food, no oxygen, nothing. So it's just a real hard struggle. She's just sitting there struggling to breathe. They're giving her morphine and Ativan. But yeah, it'll probably be a while before I make a video. I am numb and I'm mad, and I don't know what I'm mad at yet. I know that it is what it is, and being mad is not going to change it. But I'm so mad because, well, after she went into congestive heart failure 2 weeks ago, and they released her, 2 days later she went back to the hospital and told them she couldn't breathe. Her chest was hurting, she couldn't breathe. All they did was put her on oxygen for like 30 minutes and told her to go home. I mean, that made no sense whatsoever. None of it does. I mean, I guess that's where my anger's coming from. It's a mix-up in the doctor's appointments and them sending her back home, and But I'll put some pictures at the end of this so that, because to me a face is better than just a name. But we'd really appreciate everybody's prayers, and so